It's very sort of shocking, right? What the Rebbe is saying. Okay, the Rebbe in this Mimor, which is called Ata Tzave Chap10. Let's go back to the beginning of the Mimor. We'll just have a look at the beginning. Ata Tzave, which the Rebbe said in 1981, and it was reprinted in what did I say? I'm sorry, 1981. That's what I said, 1981, and it was reprinted in 1992, which was the last Mimor, the discourse given out and learned by the Hasidim before the Rebbe had his stroke. The Rebbe had his stroke. And what the Rebbe is essentially saying, he's explaining, first of all, who we are. The Rebbe is explaining who we are. These Maimorim are written for everybody. And there's telling that everyone is supposed to feel obligated to do everything that it says in all these Maimorim. This is not just for special, beautiful Hasidic ideas that are talking about, what our potential is, and it's talking about what we're actually supposed to do and what we're actually supposed to be. And of course, it is talking about our potential, but the Rebbe wants us to feel that this is not just a potential up in the sky. One day it's going to happen. But like everything else in Chassidut, the Rebbe is trying to tell us that we have a debt to God that we have to pay. That in a way of what's called doing tshuva. Tshuva means to return. We have to return to God what we owe him, and that we owe him everything, and that we owe him infinitely more than what we think, because we don't owe God just what we've got. Our eyes and our nose and our mouth, which that's also true. We also have to appreciate God for that. But also we have to appreciate God for what we can do, what we can bring to the world. And we should feel broken, and if you want to call it guilty and crushed, that we're not expressing our potential. It says the Rebbe even more, that what is this potential that we're supposed to, stress? We're supposed to, be able to dive off of the skydiving without a parachute into the ocean, or climb up a mountain or something like that. That's personal achievements, to learn all the Gemara and to learn and to pray and this. Okay, yes, of course, learning and davening for sure. Risk our lives for sure not. But here the Rebbe is saying something even more, that we have an obligation to the whole world, and especially to the Jewish people, to influence every single Jew in the world to wake up and to be themselves. And if we see that it's not happening, if there's one Jew somewhere in the corner of the world, we have to take it personally. We have to take it personally that the reason that this is happening is because, let's speak in this way, that the reason this is happening is because I'm not doing what I'm supposed to do. If I would do what I was supposed to do and not take other things into consideration and make excuses for myself, then I would reveal a whole new potential that I've got, that I never even knew that I had. And that's what the Rebbe is trying to say. The Rebbe is trying to say that's sort of what happened on Purim. And what happened after Purim, even more. It gave us a hint of what Jews are supposed to do and what they can do, and even more exactly what I am supposed to do. Each person to say to himself. So what is that we're supposed to do? So first of all, says the Rebbe, that we are supposed to be, a Jew can only express his true Judaism when he's crushed, when something is really pushing him. I think that's pretty much true about everybody. When it comes to time of war, all of a sudden people show, the most mild-mannered weakling, all of a sudden goes into the thick of war, and he's shooting and he's risking his life and he's saving. He's a hero. A lot of times you see these people that are heroes, and they get the Medal of Honor. I once watched the whole series that was on video on YouTube about people that received the Medal of Honor in America. And these people were not like, muscular guys with big chins, that stuck out and flaming eyes. They were simple people. But all of a sudden, they became heroes. They defied nature. And that's what the Rebbe wants for us. We have to defy nature, and we have to transform nature. So what is our battle? Right here we had battles, World War II. They couldn't let the Nazis take over, the communists take over, whatever. There was an enemy. Who is our enemy now? What are we supposed to do? So the Rebbe says, well, in the time of Purim, it was pretty clear. The time of Purim, our enemy was Haman. He wanted to destroy all the Jews, and he woke all the Jews up. Because a Jew, they refuse to deny that they're Jews. It says the Rebbe, we see an interesting thing. After Haman stopped pressing on the Jews, and after the enemy wasn't so clear anymore, so it didn't last so much, this Jewish feeling. So let's go. Here we go. So let's take it a little bit from I think this is where we got up to last time. So it said, for instance, the Alter Rebbe, he used to say, the first Rebbe of Chabad, he was overheard regularly saying, I don't want anything. Ich will ze gar nicht. I don't want anything. I don't want your heaven. I don't want the world to come. All I want is you. What does this mean? We'll see in a moment. By this, we did this last time, so I'm going a little bit quickly. By means of this, that he made sure that this expression that he said was heard by others. And it wasn't just special times, but it was regularly heard. And especially after this was advertised by the first Rebbe's grandson, the Tzemach Tzedek, the third Rebbe of Chabad. So therefore, says the Rebbe, listen to this, the power is given to each and every Jew, without exception. That means me, that means you. She'ikar Ratzono, that his main desire in his life should be Gilui Atzmut, the revelation of God's essence. He's willing to do crazy things in order to reveal God's essence. Now, of course, it has to be according to the Torah. You can't make up your own ideas. Ad kedei kach, to such a degree, that if God is not revealed everywhere, how much more so now in the time of exile, there is no revelation of God, not even the type of light that was revealed in the time of the temple, which the light which was revealed in the time of the temple, that wasn't the essence of God. It wasn't the same godliness that was revealed at Mount Sinai. But there was a certain revelation of God. People felt the Jews are special. God exists. Hu b'matzav gatit. If you feel, if you see that there's something in the world, someone in the world that's not aware of God, it should crush you. Let me give you a small example. It says in the Torah that man is made in the image of God. Every man. That's what it says. No, where does it say man is made in the image of God? God said this to Noah. when it came out of the ark. It says people should not kill others, people should not commit suicide, because man is created in the image of God. You can't try to destroy the image of God. You're going against God. Now you look at people in the world, you see the image of God. When people look at you, do they see the image of God? Do you see anything unusual? You see a person, right? Should make you tremendously happy and interested and new to see a person, a human being. Right? It's a living thing, life, amazing. Just a basic thing like that. I'll give you another basic idea. According to Chassidut, there's this thing called hashgacha pratit. Everything that happens in the world is directed by God for a higher purpose. And everything in the world that exists has a message. And everything that interacts with anything else, there's even another message. That's called hashgacha pratit, that we can see the divine direction of God in everything. Do we see it? There's no bigger revelation of God than hashgacha pratit. Then everything in the world is being directed by God. Everything, every little, you see anything? I don't see anything. It should be that it's seen everywhere. And especially when you see in the world people are acting the opposite of what they're supposed to. The opposite. Non-Jews don't keep the 7 Noahide commandments. Right? There's murder, there's lying, there's etc. There's decadence. Jews also have a problem keeping their commandments. You see a thing like that, that's really you. So it should make you crushed. Huba matzav katit, it should make you crushed. Ubavakesh, like we request 3 times every day, or even more. But techazena in the Musaf prayer, there's Musaf, Shabbos, Rosh Chodesh, Yom Tov. But techazena enenu b'shuvah, we are requesting God, let our eyes see your return to Israel in mercy. She'az yergil elokus, there'll be people will feel godliness, something like it was in the temple, but in fact even more, until there'll even be the revelation of the essence of God, and we're going to talk about that in a moment. This should make me and you crushed. Now, of course, you can't get anything done in the world, can't improve the situation if you're crushed and miserable and fetched all the time, right? And you look all gehacked and miserable, that's not going to get anything done. So you have to be positive, you have to be happy. You have to be, how do you say, appreciative of all the good things and not think of the bad things. So on the inside, you got to be crushed, but on the outside, that's what should be inside of us, that we are crushed up, limmeor, for the source of light. By means of this, that Jews, and not all the Jews, we're talking about one person over here. Who is that one person? Me, whoever reads this mimer. That by means of this, that I am crushed from the fact that the world is in exile and that we don't see God, and that nobody even cares that we don't see God, and people don't even know what it means that they're missing. By means of being crushed because of this, you can get to the Mimor. Suddenly you can realize new soul powers that you didn't have. The world doesn't affect you so negatively anymore. You have a goal. Because the desire that every Jew has, that God should be revealed, until this is in fact touches on the very essence of his being. He's broken and crushed from this. In the time of exile, there's no revealed godliness. Why am I crushed? Because it's relevant to the essence of my soul. There are people that are, let's say musicians, right? Musicians. And they can tell if one instrument, let's say there's an orchestra, if one instrument is not playing in tune, they can sense it immediately, right? What's happened is not in tune. They feel it immediately because music touches the essence of their being. Like there's people who are excellent doctors. If they see someone unhealthy, you bring a patient in front of them. Here's a couple of symptoms. He says, "I think I know what's going on." I once met a doctor like that. I think I know what's the problem. immediately understood what was going on. You can see he has such a feeling of what health is supposed to be. The other one, what music is supposed to be. So that it's the same thing. We Jewish people, because we should have a feeling inside what God is supposed to be, what good is supposed to be, what truth is supposed to be, what reality is supposed to be. It's supposed to be revealed God. How do you have such a feeling? You learn Chassidut. When you learn Chassidut, you start to get a little tiny bit of an idea what it means God to be revealed, what it means. You get a little tiny wisp of an idea of what it is and how infinitely close it is to us. That's the whole Tanya is based on. Where do we have this feeling that the world, we can't be satisfied until the whole entire world feels God? It comes from the essence of our soul. That's who we are. That's the Ma'or Neshama. That's the source of light in our soul. Shitkashrut belokut, ishkatruta, the attachment of the essence of the Jewish soul in God. Hitkashrut atzmit, that's an essential attachment. That's what the Jews are. That's what the Jews are. And I mean, if you really think about it for a second, it sort of makes sense. I mean, if you think about it, just because things make sense doesn't mean we're going to do it. I mean, the Jewish people heard directly from God in Mount Sinai, don't worship idols, and 40 days later they all worshiped idols. So that what a person knows is right and what he does is not always compatible. So, but if you think 1 second, what does it mean? I mean, God is creating us. Just think about this. A person lives, right? He's born. Where is he born from? He doesn't know. All of a sudden he's here. And then he lives. What's keeping him alive? He has absolutely no idea. And he takes it for granted. He's got eyes and he's got nose and he's got a mouth and he sees and he hears and this. Where does all this stuff come from? He doesn't know. No idea. But he figures, that's just the way things are. Dogs see and cats see and, I don't know, protozoas have some sort of senses. So, there's a lot of scientists that say. But if you think about it for 1 second, it's pretty miraculous. And then if you think about it even more, it's pretty meaningless. I mean, we're just born from absolutely zero and we just go back to zero. So the whole thing is just, how does it say, to be or not to be, to sleep, perchance to dream. We're just here and we're die, that's it. So what's the whole thing is just a big nothing. On the other hand, we can say, no, 1 second. God is creating us. Why is he doing it just, for such a short amount of time? And here we are, and we have all these amazing senses. Life is so complicated, and we come from zero. We're going to go back to zero. There's this whole complicated, system in the middle, psychological and emotional and philosophical and biological, system. And all these systems, we're in the world is so complicated with all these different types of animals and plants and bugs. And so tremendous. What's going on over here? What's going on? So we can say, that's not important. Life is just a big dream and just forget about the whole thing. Or you can start thinking about it. Maybe we're here for some sort of a purpose. And maybe exactly that's the point, that we're here. Our purpose is to reveal purpose and meaning in every instant of world. That the world stops being so meaningless, that the world starts to become full of, blessing. Every moment becomes a mystery. Every moment becomes a miracle. Maybe that's why we're here. That's the whole reason we're here. And that's what it means, revealing God. Revealing God. When that happens, it says when man was created, he wasn't supposed to die. He was supposed to live forever. So a lot of people hear that and say, well, that's terrible. You really get bored, you get old, you get old, you get decrepit and, depressed and everything like that. But if a person, every second is brand new and every second it's not ours at all, it's all God's. And it all is just this amazing, incredible, fantastic, miracle is not the word. And we're in some order that God put us right in the center of it, that every second becomes tremendously interesting. And only every moment that it's not like that, or that there's someone that doesn't feel that it's like that, and especially that someone is me, so that should make us crushed. We should say, listen, the whole thing depends on me. It's not I got to get mad at God Now, come on, God, why don't you do it? He did do it. He put it in my hands. That's the idea of the Mor. That's the idea of the source of light of the soul. Hamitkalit, which is revealed. How do we reveal it? Al katit. We have to be crushed. Just doing the commandments, learning the Torah is very wonderful, but it's not going to change the whole world. It's good. It might be you can go to heaven and you can get the biggest revelations. That's what the first Rebbe of Chabad said. I don't want to go to heaven. I want God to be revealed here. In order to do that, you have to have, what do we call, be crushed. You have to be crushed from the fact that we're found in exile. This feeling of being crushed because God is not revealed everywhere, this is more a deeper level. This is higher than the light of the soul, which was revealed by self-sacrifice. Let's say in the time of Haman, when according to the narrative of Chabad, Haman said, I'm going to kill all the Jews. Just say you're not Jewish. And no Jew even considered it for a moment to deny his Judaism. That's self-sacrifice. That's revealing where did such a crazy thing come? That comes from the essence of the soul. Says the Rebbe, it comes from the essence of the soul, but there's a level of the soul that's higher than this. How do we see this? And you know, one of the reasons that when the Torah was given, this was just the beginning of Judaism. This is what they began. And in the days of Achashverosh, 1,000 years later, this is when they actually received the Torah. They got the point of the Torah. Because when they were on Mount Sinai, and they said, we will do and we will understand, it was because Shekafalim Argagigis. It says that God held the mountain over them. And there's different interpretations of this, but some say it's God showed them such love that they couldn't refuse. In any case, the Jewish people were coerced to say, we'll do whatever you want. Either they were coerced by God's love, by God's greatness, by God's wonderful wonders. Nevertheless, it was a revelation from above. That's what brought them to this level of self-sacrifice. But in the days of Achashverosh, 1,000 years later, when the Jews were all under exactly the opposite, the worst darkness, the worst decree ever on Jews, the Jews then they received on their own. Then there was nothing forcing them to say we were Jews. Exactly the opposite. They were forcing them to deny their Judaism. Just deny your Judaism and you're free. You're not going to be under the decree of to kill all the Jews. Just deny it. They were under pressure. So they had to make this decision on their own. The pressure had to come from inside. That was the pressure. In other words, when they received the Torah on Mount Sinai, God, so to speak, pressured them from above to say, I'm a Jew. I'll accept the Torah. I'll do whatever you want, God. But on Purim, they had the pressure themselves. If there was any pressure, it was exactly the opposite. The pressure was to deny their Judaism. And there they crushed themselves. Yeshlom, or we can say, She'amurti Israel, that the faith of the Jewish people, because of this, that the soul is above, it sees godliness, like we said before. This is something like it was in Mount Sinai. The Jewish people, first of all, said, Na'aseh, and then they said, Nishma. God, we'll do whatever you want, and then we'll try to understand it. Self-sacrifice to God. Whatever it says in the Torah, we'll do. Let's say it says in the Torah, cut off your leg. We'll cut off whatever you say to do. We'll do, God, and then and they really meant it. But the reason they were so devoted to God was because there was pressure. Either there was God's awe, God's power, God's love. Mitzad Gilul L'mayla, because there was a revelation from above. That's something like the soul sees God. That in the days of Achashverosh, that they received on their own. This is because then, Nitkala, there was revealed the attachment of the Jews to God, which comes from their essence of Judaism. This is also from above. Yes, it's also from above, but it's not from above in a, what do you want to call it, in a pressured way. This is the essence of the Jewish soul, which makes it a Jew. It's how do you want to call it? It's latent. in every Jew. This is Iskashus Atzmis, this is the essence attachment of a Jew to God because of the essence of their being. That's the essence of what a Jew is. Nobody knows what this is. Like it's always the question that's asked, why did Haman want to kill all the Jews? Why did Hitler want to kill all the Jews? What do they got against the Jews? What's so bad, about the Jews? And even let's say they had some bad experiences with the Jews, right? All the Jews, they got to kill all the Jews, right? Test them, make some sort of test to see if these are, crooked Jews or whatever lying Jews. Kill all the men, kill all leave all the old people. No, kill all the Jews. Young people, old people, everybody. Hitler also, Haman also. What are you killing the old ladies for? What are the old ladies going to do to you? What are they going to do? What doesn't make any sense, right? They kill everybody. What do you got to kill everybody for? Because every Jew, the fact that he's a Jew means somehow or other he's totally different than everybody else. His soul, the essence of his soul, is attached to the Creator. It's attached to the essence of the Creator. And even the Jews don't know it. But when Haman starts to shake them, all of a sudden it wakes up. And they say, I'm not going to deny my Judaism. You can kill me. You can only kill my external. My internal, you're never going to be able to harm. And then I'm never going to, that's my inner identity. That's who I am. That's the essence of the soul because it comes from the essence of their being. It's not just the essence of their religion. Ubapratius motor yoter, even more, we can say that there is begilei etzem, that when the essence of the soul is revealed, there's also two levels. One is the soul, the essence of the soul is revealed like it was in the time of Purim, self-sacrifice. Haman pushed them up to the wall, and the Jewish people said, we're not giving in. We are Jews. We will die Jews. That's one level, but there's a deeper level than that also. There's a deeper level than that. Before we said that the Jews received, that they had self-sacrifice in Mount Sinai. That was because they were forced, to have self-sacrifice. And that the Jewish people would have self-sacrifice in the time of Purim. That's because they forced themselves to have self-sacrifice. But there's even a higher level. That this type of self-sacrifice that the Jewish people had because of Haman, this is like an additional thing. It's like a new power that woke up in their souls. Like we say, Bapoil, Bakame, Nashim, and many people Shabiyotam Bamakom Shahayu Sham Gezerot Hasidi Chabad, that when they were in places where there were decrees against doing Torah and the commandments, like in Russia, we saw that the Chabad Hasidim had Mesirut Nefesh, self-sacrifice. But Paul Mamish, actually, there were others also that did. Meshakama Bakama Shani, many, many years. When they came afterwards to other countries, right? They escaped Russia. They got out of Russia. The Iron Curtain opened up. This is when they got to places where they could do the Torah and the commandments, mitoch harchava, in an easy way, right? There were Jews that got out of Russia after Stalin died, Yamach Shimon, 1953. There were Jews that got out of Russia. They got out of the concentration camps. And eventually they were able to leave Russia. A lot of them came out. They came got into Poland after the war. Some of them came out. And then after that, they came to England. They came to Israel. They came to America. But when these same Hasidim, that they were willing to not sleep for 5 days and go without food, go without water, and to risk their lives in order to save another Jew, in order to bring a circumcision to another Jew, or provide a mikveh for a woman to go to the mikveh for this, they were willing to sacrifice their life. As soon as they got to England or to America, you don't see so much the self-sacrifice. Why? Because that they were self-sacrificing in the course of many years. Who it is, Lafi, because because there's shined in them the essence of the soul, which is above any of the revealed powers. It's above any personal considerations. above time, above below Nasel Yadei Shinoi, but it didn't change the real essence personality. It just sort of blocked it out for a second. That which the essence of the soul is also the essence of all of the aspects of the soul. This is that the soul is only their essence. It's like the essence of their Jewishness, but it's not shaykh l'inyanim shel kochos hagilui matzmo. But it doesn't necessarily affect the person how he is in his business, how he is when there is no pressure, how he is at home, how he is with his family, with his friends. When there's pressure, all of a sudden he is a hero. But when there's no pressure, his heroism is not so dominant in his personality. Latzir shalem, in his ways of his personality. Could be once in a while he gets angry, right? Somebody cheats him, somebody did. But the Rebbe is saying that but there is a way to reveal the essence of the soul all the time. Even when there is no Haman, even when there is no Stalin. How? By being broken and crushed, mizeh, from this, shunim sabagalos, that we are found in exile. Shagam kochos hagiluim, then what it means, that even your day-to-day personality, how you act with others, how you act with yourselves, how you act when other people act negatively to you, they laugh at you, they scoff at you, they cheat you, they yell at you, whatever it is, right? Nobody pays attention to you. Whatever happens, right? Negative things happen to you. Nevertheless, your whole personality is devoted to only one thing, making God being revealed in the world. Your whole personality, it becomes one with the essence. This becomes the one consuming goal and reality that you have. Right? When a person is in Russia, so he has to stand against Stalin, and that's his only reality. But as soon as Stalin is gone, now what's his reality? Right? He does Torah, he does commandments, he has a family, he has this, he has a lot of things, right? Everything, and he acts with everything accordingly. But if he's really devoted to the essence of what God wants, namely that the world should be a godly place, then this consumes every moment of his time and every place where he is and every aspect of his personality. Yeshlom, we can say that this, the essence of his soul and his personality, tzira kochos, that they are like two separate things. This is because the essence of the soul is revealed, mugderet together. It's like sort of defined. Namely, what does it mean is defined? That the essence of the soul is above his normal powers. All of a sudden, he becomes a different person. Right? He's willing to give his life for God. He's willing to. But from the essence of the soul, as it is in God's essence, in other words, the very deepest level of the Jewish soul, then it's not a separate thing from his day-to-day personality. Exactly the opposite. It is the source of his day-to-day personality. Hapeshitut the neshama, that the simple oneness and essence of the soul, but tzira kochos, and the personality of the soul, they all become one. According to this, Yeshlom, we can say the bechinas or that this aspect of the illuminator of the soul, shemitgalit, which is revealed by means of self-sacrifice, namely like it was in the time of Stalin or the time of Haman. This is the essence of the soul as it is defined as being peshitos, being separated above the personality. But this level, we said katut lamaor, the source of the light, the very essence of the soul, which is revealed by being crushed from the fact that we're in exile. This is the essence of the soul as it is really the essence of God. And again, can't stress too much that the essence of God is only revealed in this physical world by means of our devotion. The essence of God is not revealed in heaven. That's only just rays of God, even the highest levels of heaven. The essence of God can only be revealed right now in this physical world, every single instant when we are have the same goal as what God does. And we can attach this to what it says in the Mimor Ata Tzave Chap10. What says, Moses, you command the Jewish people, and they should take to you this pure olive oil, pure crushed olive oil. And that's what it says. That after, why should they bring it to Moses? That after Moses, Yitzaveh, he commands, but the word Yitzaveh also means to attaches himself and attaches the Jews. He attaches the Jews to himself, to God, and we're going to see in a moment also to one another. Azai then, Yaviu, the Jewish people, once the Jewish people are activated, then they bring to Moses this pure oil. Okay, so let's just go and return again, and we have to realize what's happening over here. What's the Rebbe trying to tell us? The revelation of God in this world is something like it was at Mount Sinai, something like it was in the Holy of Holies. Right? We just read last week that Nadav and Avihu, they rushed into the Holy of Holies because they wanted that revelation, they wanted to serve God, and they died. Too much life, they have to really, really be prepared for such a thing like that. They really had to have the proper garments and attitude and etc. Their idea was right. They wanted the future redemption. They wanted to feel the revelation of God that's going to be everywhere in the future redemption. But this is the revelation of God in the world. This is like really super real, right? Super real, that there's no way you can possibly simulate in any way the reality of what God is. Or let's say another way, there's no way that we can possibly appreciate how unreal this world is, how unreal what we think reality is. There's no way we can possibly understand it. The only connection that there is to true reality in the world is the Jews. The Jews have true reality. The Jews have true godliness, true life. And without Moses, without, in our case, Mordechai, in our generation, without the Lubavitcher Rebbe, then the world is just normal. It's just a regular place. The Jews are just like a religion, like any other religion. And okay, there's a couple of unusual things, anomalies. What's it called? Anomalies. Okay, the people hate the Jews for no reason. It's not understood how the Jewish people existed for so long. There's theories to explain that also. But the feeling of the essence of God, the essence of the Creator, and the entire creation that will turn the entire creation to be happy, healthy, blessed, that's something that's never been before in the history of the world. Maybe a couple of minutes before Adam ate from the tree, a couple of hours. Except for that, it's never been. And then who could appreciate it? All there was just Adam and his wife. That's all there was. So this revelation, it all depends on the Jews, and the Jews depend totally on Mordechai, or in our case, on the Rebbe, the Moshiach. But it says that by means of our doing our work, what we're supposed to do, that Moses inspires us to do, we add energy to Moses. We add energy to Mordechai. We add energy to the Rebbe. We add energy to the Mashiach. That's what he's saying. That the Jewish people, by means of their service, they actually add a revelation of light into Moshe. Moses, we have absolutely no way of comprehending what Moses is. We have no way of comprehending. But one thing is for sure, that Moses, and listen, if God accepts, and he said, we give power to God. So we also give power to Moses. The Yesh Lomar, we can say, Biurim was one of the explanations in this, in our service, how we add holiness to Moses. That which Moshe has the power to attach and to unite the Jewish people with himself and with God and with each other, who is Shuzan Mafarnis Etamuna. Because Moshe, his thing is to nourish and to strengthen the faith and awareness of God that the Jewish people have. She'amunati and Nosaf, that this faith that the Jewish people, the awareness that the Jewish people have, in addition to being like it is B'tzad Giluyim, the revealed aspects of the soul. Like when you learn Chassidut, you have certain ideas, a picture, feeling, you can feel the Chachma, Bina, but also from the essence of the soul, self-sacrifice. That's what happened in the time of Purim. Mordechai drove everybody crazy. We're going to go back to this afterwards. And we can say that that's what it says, Ata Tzave Ben Israel, that you are the one that connect the Jewish people. That when it says you connect the Jewish people, this implies that Moshe Mitzaveh, that he connects, Mitzaveh, he connects and joins the Jewish people themselves, one to the other. Because from the essence of the soul, all the Jews are like one, right? It's one big, unusual miracle. By means of the service of the Jewish people. After Moses unites all the Jewish people one with the other, how? By means of arousing the essence of their soul. That also the revealed powers will be fitting the essence of the soul. In other words, they're what they like, what they don't like, their personalities will be in tune with the essence of their soul, namely feeling and wanting only what God wants. By means of this adds in the soul, etzem and neshama, nimsheches v'nizgalas b'hem al yedei Moshe. This adds power into the essence of the soul, and it adds power in all the Jewish people, and it adds power even in Moshe. That's what it is yichui lecha. That this arouses the Moshe inside of every Jew. Because by means of this reveals the true source as it is rooted in God's essence. Okay, this is maybe a little bit confusing over here, but let's just get to the main point. The Jews were put in the world in order to work. And when the Jews work, God reacts. And Moses, he's the catalyst to all this. How do we make God work? I don't make God react. I'm sorry, by our work, what we do. The deeper, and the more genuine, and the more consuming our work is to God, the more, involved and sincere we are to serving God, to the point of even total self-sacrifice. We're willing to not care anything about ourselves, just to serve God. And what does it mean to serve God? To do something, so to speak, that God can't do. Namely, to bring every single Jew in the world to realize that there's God. And through that, the whole world will realize there's God. How are we going to do a thing like that? Doesn't make any difference how. We have to do something. You do a little something, that's what God wants. Then God will start helping. Okay, but the point is, by means of our work, God reacts, and that adds more power to us. That adds more power also, again, commercially, like an atomic reaction to the essence of our soul, because the whole thing depends on work. It's all dynamic. It all depends on our serving God and how deep of our soul we activate to serve God. Like it says, we say in prayer every day, you have to love God with all of your heart, with all of your soul, with all of your might. It says, with all of your might, even more than your money. What does it mean, your money? Money is a thing that everybody, no matter who they are, money, if somebody steals your money, a person jumps, even for a second, he'll jump. Hey, you're stealing my money. right? It could be afterwards you calm down, you say, okay, listen, it's all from God and everything. That's the way that's the essence of your soul. The essence of your soul should be activated by wanting to have God revealed everywhere. When that's activated and you're willing to do anything, then anything you do with that attitude, it has an effect also to draw more, what do you call it, reaction from God, more light, so to speak, into the essence of your soul, more light into Moses, who is essentially, he's the essence of our soul. And that's this whole interreaction that is going to be caused when the Jewish people crush themselves because we are in exile. We're not the Jewish people. When one Jewish person crushes himself, and who is that? Just everybody should say to themselves, me. So I'll say to myself, me. And that's what I'm trying to do. I'm trying. We'll see what we can do. Hopefully, we'll all be dancing together before next week. And Hashem himself will finish this Mimor for us. Okay, have a good week. God willing, next week we'll meet again. Good?
Yes, B'ezrat Hashem, my son just woke up. It's a bit noisy.
Oh, tell him I'm sorry.
B'ezrat Hashem will finish next week.
Okay, wonderful, wonderful. Maybe you'd like me to sing him a song?
He can't hear you. I'm in headphones, so I can hear you.
Okay. Okay. Shalom.
All the best.
Shavua Tov. And Chodesh Tov. This Shabbos is going to be Rosh Chodesh.
Yes.
Okay, so next week we'll continue. Shalom Abraham.
Shavua Tov, Shalom Bracha.